For this trip, we're back where the channel started some 6 years ago at the beautiful home pool at Chad Lakes. Thanks for joining me on the Journeyman's Tales. Nestling in the beautiful Cotswold countryside is one of my most favourite little intimate fisheries that is steeped in features and challenges. But the rewards, should you get the tactics right, can be spectacular. Well, as you can see, we're all settled in. The rods are out, bivvies up. The journey here was a complete and utter nightmare. It's absolutely torrential rain, but as we got here just before midday, it had eased up and the sun had come out. So we had blue skies and a bit of cloud. We're now getting intermittent rain, and I don't think it's due to be anywhere near like it was, but there's, I don't know, it's got that feeling about it. I've seen a few fish moving around. I've seen some fish just off the back of the spots. In fact, I spooked quite a large fish when I put out my left hand rod. But they're still there, they're still in the vicinity. Now, last time we were here, they were evening bites. And I know Carey down the far end has got a few fish mooching around and taking stuff off the top as well. He's seen a few moving around. There's a few bubbling up towards the house, and seriously bubbling. But as soon as you go up there with a rod, it kind of stops. So I'm trying to sit on my hands a bit. But it looks really, really good. So hopefully something will certainly come on later on, maybe tea time-ish. This is going to be fun with the net. Carey's forgotten I'm left-handed. I must apologise if the sound quality has gone on some of this video footage, because things have got a little bit wet. About 8 o'clock, just doing a bit to camera, and the left hand rod went ramping off. Didn't it ramp off? Round a reed bed, round the back of an island. The fight you might have seen on camera was a bit epic and a bit daft. And at the end of it all, she just waddled back to me. 21 pounds an ounces. Absolutely thrilled to get off the mark with that little beauty. Oh, happy days, as they say. There you go. What a gem. It's a very sexy tail, Paul. I'm sure it is. What? Alligators, is it? No. I'm away for a cup of coffee and a clean pair of underpants. Just what you don't need, isn't it? Hecklers. Right, she's going back. Before I put that rod back out, I'm going to drop a bit more bait in. Now what I did initially was put in a few of these bombs full of crumb and with some halves and some chops over the top. So I'm just going to top this up. With 4 of these little beauties. I'm going to finish drying off. Sort myself out. And I say a few chopped squid and orange, a few of my homemade dumbbells over the top. Well, my favourite barbed hook, as most of you will know who've been watching this channel for a while, is the Korda curved shank, and that's what I use for most of my angling. But when the water rules prescribe that you have to use a barbless hook, I tend to use a wide gate with a beak point. Why? Because I think the beak point stays in better when you're playing the fish. You know the score, curved in, curved out. But Korda have just brought out a new hook called the Klor, which incorporates a curved shank and a beak point. So I'm intrigued. Now the Klor is slightly thicker in the wire than the normal curved shank, and it's a little bit longer in the shank. Now I've made up my normal wafter rig with the Klor, but I haven't put on a kicker or a liner because I don't think it's necessary. But I have put a little bit of shrink tube over the knot, and I think it looks and works really well. I've also made up a German rig as described by the late great Ian McMillan. Now it's not something I've used a lot, but I have used it a bit. But I'm a little bit dubious about using a stiff link around the eye, or a stiffer link around the eye, and that's closing the gape a bit. And I think you get with my wafter rig a little bit more flexibility. But I do believe that the hook was brought about, if you like, to be used with a braided link anyway. Am I going to use the Klor on this trip? Not at the moment. I'm going to be using my wafter rig, which I have utmost confidence in. Will I be using it in the future? Definitely. In fact, I've got a trip to Bramblemere in a few weeks where they've got a barbless rule. So we can put the Klor with the curved shank and the beak point through its paces. I'm looking forward to that. And if there's any decent results, I'll let you know about them. I was wondering why there was a hole there for no obvious reason. Well, what an afternoon, late evening that was. Absolutely endless and torrential, the rain. In fact, for the latter part of it, when I was bivvy bound, I had to put the headphones on to listen to the radio because the rain on the bivvy was ridiculous. Holy Mary, Mother of God, and a wee donkey. Just when he thought it couldn't get worse. But it did stop about 10:30 and the skies cleared, moon came out, temperature dropped dramatically, which isn't a major problem, but the water is beginning to colour up, which is a major problem on here. If there's too much colour in the water, they'll stop their activity and stop feeding. But I've seen a couple go past the front of the rods this morning, so they are still moving around. They're certainly moving around down where Carey is because the water's a bit clearer down there. They're bubbling and they're hitting the surface. So all is not lost yet, and we just don't need any more rain though. But it should be coming up to yesterday's bite time, if that makes a difference. Fingers crossed as always. I was watching a bit of YouTube the other night, and it was Ian Chili Chilcott, who doesn't like a bit of chili, and I think it was about baiting up, or pre-baiting, and he was talking about using PVA bags and boilies and using that as his way of baiting up and spotting them out. And he said he used to be able to put a small bag on a hook link and put them way over 100 yards, and then he said, but I'm 61 now and I'm not sure if I can do that anymore. Well, I got another 6 years on top of chili, so it made me think maybe I ought to stop beating myself up about things I can't do anymore, and maybe, just maybe, stop pretending I'm still 18. Jesus! Talk through me. Oh, yeah. Here it comes again. Catch me if you can. I can't. Dare I say that's a beaut? Oh no! Sometimes there just aren't any words. Well, we're now coming into Wednesday evening. It's been a really nice, warm, dry day. In fact, warm enough to dry my trousers, fortunately. But unfortunately, no fish. They have been mooching backwards and forwards. In fact, there's been a bit of water movement over the baited areas, but nothing's actually gone down and fed, as far as I can see. But Carey has been plogging away persistently with these floaters, and he managed to hook into a good fish about 4:30 this afternoon, sadly, and he lost it, but it looks perfect, it really does. There's a little bit of colour from that torrential rain, but it seems to be fining down a little bit, and you can still see them cruising backwards and forwards both sides of the island in front of me. Not huge numbers, but now and again decent sized fish, and they've been out in front of Carey for most of the day. I haven't touched the rods this evening, I've just left them there. Every time I've brought them in so far they've been perfect, so I'm working on the premise that they're perfect now, and the least disturbance I can put out the better, really. I've changed the right hand rod that's fishing up against the lily bed to a bright orange pop-up, just because I can, and it might provoke something that's passing to catch its eye and have a nose. Other than that, the baiting's remaining the same, and it's supposed to be a dry night. I don't know if we've got some rain coming tomorrow. But honestly, it's perfect. It's getting a bit chilly now, the sun's gone down, but it looks perfect. I wish I had a shed full of excuses, but I haven't. But it's not an easy water. The rewards are good, but it's not an easy water. But you've got to be in it to win it, as they say. We'll see. Well, it's now Thursday morning, and the weather's changed again. We had a beautiful warm day yesterday, big clear skies most of the night, and then, I don't know, about 3 o'clock-ish, clouded over pretty quickly, winds picked up, and we've had more rain. Now, it's not torrential, fortunately, so it's not colour in the water, and it's sort of drizzling on and off during the course of the morning. I have well, I've changed all 3 rods now. I changed the left-hand rod. Curiosity got the better of me. I'd left it out there for over 24 hours and it was perfect. So that went back out. Then I got a pickup from a moorhen on the middle rod. So I had to redo that. And I've just redone the right-hand rod over by the lily bed. Changed the orange pop-up to squid and orange pink pop-up. Don't know if it makes a difference. We'll see. But again, the weather's perfect. It's quite a strong southwesterly, but it's just swirling around because of the nature of the lake and the trees. And you're getting just the occasional light shower, but I don't know. Carey's got them on the top. They're very cagey on the top down there, but they're still taking. But the floaters, because of the swirling wind, are going all over the place. In fact, they're drifting past me early doors this morning. But it is absolutely perfect for a bite. Anywhere else they'd be climbing up the rods, but that's the beauty of this place. Fingers crossed when you do get that run. It's a whacker. But yeah, one day to go and a night. We're still there. Well, it's coming to the end of the session now, and it's time to slowly start packing away and thinking about getting home. Now, I've given this a lot of thought over the last couple of months actually, and I think it might be time to bring the channel to a conclusion. And I can't think of a better place to do it actually than at home pool, where the whole thing started about 6 years ago. Now, I did set myself a target of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And I don't think that's going to happen now. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen now. And I don't know if it's to do with the unnecessary advertising that YouTube are putting on, or the comment section isn't working properly. But the viewing figures have dropped through the floor. To be perfectly honest, it's a bit disappointing. I think the channel has grown over the last 6 years quite considerably. And I've tried to produce a good product, and I think it stands out well with what's available on the market, but at the end of the day it doesn't really matter what I think. Thank you for those who've got involved and made comments and shared their ideas. It's very much appreciated, and it has boosted my efforts to try and produce a better product. But there we are, it is what it is. But if this video goes out and doesn't get the viewing figures, then maybe this will be my last public video. But as always, thanks for your company on the Journeyman's Tales. Cheers.